Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to get started in just about 1 minute. So actually, I think it's time. We're going to go ahead and start right now. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's so great to have you all with us this evening to discover health and hope. Oh, hang on. Let me turn my video on. There we go. I think I'm here now. It's great to be with you all tonight to discover health and hope for 2016. We're going to hear some great stories tonight of real transformations, just some incredible stories of people's lives that were tremendously changed as they took their health into their own hands and went on a journey to discover optimal health. You know, it's more than just weight loss or a diet. It goes way beyond that. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. My name is Dan Valentine. I'm excited to be your host tonight. It was July 8th, 2014 that I actually started on this journey, about 80 pounds heavier, and not really feeling like myself. It took me about 6 months to lose those 80 pounds. And, you know, one of the reasons that I went on this journey myself was I didn't feel like I used to, you know, when I was younger. How many of you can relate to that? You know what I'm talking about. You know, I was full of energy, full of life, full of dreams and excitement. And as I started to get older, you know, I started to lose some of that. Didn't have the energy to play with my kids like I did when I was younger, and to want to be around people and hang out with people and take family pictures and all these different things. And you know what I thought was, you know, maybe that's just what happens as you get older. I don't know if you've ever thought that before. Or maybe, you know, I have 3 little kids. Some of you can relate to this. I thought maybe they just suck the life out of me. They can do that sometimes. But what I realized as I started to lose the weight is that it wasn't that I had just been getting older over the years. It took me about 15 years to gain 80 pounds. What happened is I was getting more and more unhealthy over the years. And as I started to lose that weight, you know, I've said this to many people, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I feel like I got my life back. And I didn't realize everything that I was missing in my life. You know, it wasn't just about the scale. I had a lot of real great reasons why I wanted to lose the weight and why I wanted to get healthy. I wanted to be around for my daughter's weddings. I wanted to have the energy to go out and play with my little boy. I wanted to look forward to family pictures and taking my wife out on a date and all these things that had kind of slipped away from me over time. So whatever your reason why that you're on this webinar tonight, I want to say this. The person that invited you cares about you. They thought enough to invite you and thought that this might be something that could help you discover optimal health in your own life as well. We've got some great stories tonight. And so without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on our first story. Please welcome Dale Groves from the East Coast over in Florida. Dale, are you with us?
I sure am, Dan. Welcome, everybody. I'm excited to share my story. Let me start off by saying that back in November, I went to my doctor for my physical or whatever, and a little astounded to find out that he wanted to put me on cholesterol medication, diabetic medication, and most likely increase my blood pressure medicine. And to top that all off, my triglycerides were out of whack. So I argued back and forth with him for a little bit, asking him to give me 6 months to get healthy. And we came down to an agreement of 3 months. I told him at the end of 3 months, I'll come back and do whatever you tell me to do. Well, as story goes, I didn't do anything for 3 months, so I didn't go back to him. And then my work physical came up, which is not optional. I had to go back to. And 3 weeks before that work physical, I started this journey, this program. And I went into that doctor's with some new blood work, my work doctor, and had my old blood work with me to compare to my new blood work. And I was happy to find out that my numbers had gotten better. They weren't good, but they had gotten better. So I was excited. I'd lost about, at that point in 3 weeks, about 26 pounds. So I grabbed my paperwork. I set up an appointment for my doctor, my personal doctor, and went and saw him. And the first thing out of his mouth was, "It's been a long 3 months, hasn't it?" I went, "Yeah, it's been a little longer than 3 months, but I'm here." So he looked over the paperwork and said, "That's good improvement. You've started on the right track. What are you doing?" I explained it to him. He says, "I know about the program. Stay on and come back and see me in 3 months." So I went back in another 3 months, and very excited to find out that my blood work was perfect. My A1C, which is my diabetic markers, were perfect. My triglycerides were perfect. My cholesterol was perfect. I dropped a lot more weight. My blood pressure had come down significantly, so much so he had to reduce my blood pressure medicine down from 90 milligrams to 60. Said come back in another 3 months, so I did. I went back in another 3 months, and my blood work was still great. I dropped some more weight. I was feeling so much better, so much more energy, sleeping better, and he again dropped my blood pressure medicine from 60 to 30. And I'm happy to say I go back, I think it's January 3rd, the beginning of January sometime, I have to look, and he is going to take me off my blood pressure medicine completely. The funny story is I walked into my work, and my sergeant called me and said, I got to ask you a question because I'm a detective with the sheriff's office here. And he said, yeah, he goes, are you sick? And I went, yeah. He goes, what do you have? I said, I have hepatitis. He kind of looked at me puzzled and he says, what is that? I said, well, I was sick and tired of being fat, so I decided to do something about it. So I'm happy to say now that my wife is lost a ton of weight. I've lost a ton of weight. We've taken back our lives. I didn't want to die a fat cop is what it boiled down to. And I wanted to be able to do stuff with my granddaughter and not be that person. And when she asked me to go out and play, I would have to tell her, I can take you out and watch you play. I want to be the granddaddy that can play. So here I am, Papa G with a granddaughter, in better shape than I've been in 25 or 30 years, and still losing some weight and still getting in better shape. So it's been an awesome journey.
Wow, I love that, Dale. You want to be the papa that can play.
Yeah.
It's amazing. One thing I've discovered in my own life and in the lives of so many people that have done this program is it doesn't only change our lives, but it impacts the people around us. Not only the people that see our weight loss and they decide to ask what we're doing and jump on the program as well, but the people that are in our lives that we have relationships with. One thing I discovered in my own life is when I looked in the mirror and I didn't like myself as much as I could or I should, that affected people around me, and I didn't treat other people as nice as I would like to. And there's just so much that we gain through that ripple effect that affects so many people in our lives. So your granddaughter probably doesn't even know that she got her granddad back. I'm sure she sees a change, but I'm sure she's extremely grateful and thankful for this journey that you went on, as well as the many people in your life that you're impacting. So thanks for being on tonight, Dale. We really appreciate it. Really excited for this next story. Dean and Tasha Ives. I think Tasha's with us tonight, and she's going to be sharing a little bit about her journey. And I love this picture. I'm not going to steal her thunder. I'll let her talk about it. But I love that picture of them with their medals, and she can explain what that's about. Tasha, are you with us?
I am here, down here in Nashville, Tennessee. And yeah, our journey started December 26th last year, so just about a year ago. And we had lost our daughter to cancer in November of '09. She was 11 years old. And that obviously took over our life, her illness and her passing. And we just really weren't focusing on our own health at all. We were just kind of surviving in that moment in time for about a period of like 5 years. And we had watched Dan kind of go through a journey of his own, and it finally made sense to us that it was time for us to hop on board. And so I was never what you would call medically overweight or anything like that, but I was growing and not getting any taller. And that's what I tell people, when you keep going up in pant sizes, where do you draw the line? My husband worked out all of the time, but wasn't able to it didn't have the nutrition part in place, and was never able to drop below 200, and had high cholesterol, high blood pressure. And my dad as well, who's not in the picture, but he joined us on the journey, high blood pressure, cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, needed to lose about 80 to 100 pounds. So we all started in January of last year, placed our order on December 26th. And since that time, I've lost 25 pounds. It took me about 2 months to do that. I have maintained that until this time. And one of my big whys was to get healthy as a family with my dad and my husband, to teach my son healthy habits. He's 14, not easy to do. And to run in the St. Jude Half Marathon, which that picture with us holding our medals, we were able to do that on December 5th of this year down in Memphis, Tennessee. This is our nephew with us. My time was a little longer than theirs, but I completed it before the course shut down, and that was like my goal. And we just have had health, energy, been able to focus on the things that are important to us. We became health coaches really like 3 weeks after we started the program. This is now our full-time job. Both my husband and I do this. We love it. moved our whole family to Nashville, Tennessee, and just living our dreams. And so all of that from like one choice to get healthy. My husband has lost 70 pounds. My dad is at 74 pounds. We're maintaining, and we just have never felt this positive and the health that we have. At this point, we've never felt that in our lives, and we think it's really cool to be able to carry on our daughter's legacy and to have the energy and the stamina to do that. And so it was the best decision we ever made. One little choice to like just give it a try for 1 month and see if it works for us. And man, it totally did. It is a part of our lives forever. And it was literally one of the best decisions we've ever made in our lives. And we're just excited to be able to share it with people that we love. And hopefully it's something that you will be willing to try out yourself.
That's great, Tasha. Can you share just real quick what your life was like with Dean before you became a health coach? I know you guys lived an interesting life, kind of passing in the night or passing in the morning. What was
Absolutely.
that like, and how has that changed?
Yeah, I was working full-time and on call with hospice, and my husband worked full-time second shift. So he was asleep when I would see him, and I was asleep when he would come home. So for 9 years, that was our schedule. And then our daughter's illness and passing on top of that. So for 9 years, we didn't really see each other till the weekends. Had no really quality life of family time. And it was just one of those crazy things. Weekends were like business meetings because we just had to get everything accomplished that you would normally do, in normal conversation. So now we see each other all the time, which has been an adjustment as well, to be quite honest. But no, we tease each other all the time. We just are able to kind of start this new adventure and get to know each other again, because it's really been a while since we've just really gotten to hang out and just be friends. So it's been a really cool thing to kind of get to know each other in a new way all over again.
Wow, I love that, Tasha. Thank you for sharing that little piece of personal information. One thing I've discovered as a health coach working with a lot of clients is, and even in my own life, when you start to focus on health in your life, it's amazing how so many other things in your life come together and work out the way that you really want them to. I heard a quote once that said, it's never too late to live the life that you want to live or to be the person that you want to be. And, that's so true of everyone on this call tonight. Wherever you're at, if you're watching, maybe you're on the phone listening in, or maybe somebody sent you this recorded video, it's never too late to live that life that you've dreamed of. Even when it comes to your health, sometimes that can seem so far off. And like Tasha said, it really comes down to a decision, finding a program that works, committing to your health, and then making the decision. I always say this, I've never seen this program not work for someone. Out of every single person that I've coached, that I know that has done the program, it works 100% of the time if you make the decision and you follow the program. So thank you again, Tasha. Our next story is a great friend of mine I've known for many, many years, and he's had an absolute incredible transformation. Please welcome Guy Adams. Are you with us?
I am here.
Well, take it away, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me share my story. About a year ago, October, I weighed 428 pounds, and I had such knee pain that I couldn't hardly walk. I couldn't move. I wound up having to go. I would sit in the car while everybody went in the store, and I just wouldn't do anything. I would just sit because I couldn't move. So I went to the doctor to have my knees looked at. He said, yep, you need knee replacement surgery. I won't touch it. You're too unhealthy. I'll give you a 40% chance of surviving the surgery. I'll give you a 4 in 10 chance that you'll come out of the knee surgery alive. And then about an 8 in 10 chance that if you make it through, within a year, I'll remove one leg, if not both, because you're not healthy enough to fight the fight that needs to be done to do knee replacement. So I literally went out to the car and bawled my eyes out. And because I was in so much pain, I said, I can't walk, I can't exercise, I can't do anything. What can I do? And he said gastric bypass surgery. And I knew that wasn't for me. So I just cried, Lord, you have got to show me something. And it was just a few weeks later that I saw Dan Valentine going through our church one day, and I turned to my wife. I said, does Dan look like he's lost weight? And my wife said, yeah, he's lost weight. And this happened for a couple of weeks. And Dan reached out to me and said, I'm doing something that I think might interest you. And I kind of shied away from it from a little bit. But then I've got my back up against the wall. And I was to that point where I had to do something. And I said, all right, tell me about the program. He says, if you'll do it and follow the instructions and do it the way it's designed, this will work for you, just like Dan said just a few minutes ago. I've done that. And since February 9th, I've lost 165 pounds since February 9th. The picture of the young man on my back is my one of my twin sons, Joshua. He weighs 150 pounds, and to make that 160, we had to put a 10-pound bag of sugar on my shoulder. That's the weight that I carried around every day, that it's gone. And I've got about another 45 pounds to go, and I'll be at my goal weight, which I'm excited to say will be the first time that I have weighed that since I left high school. So my wife started a program. She's lost 57 pounds and 55 inches. It's absolutely incredible. My oldest son is on the program. He's lost about 20 pounds already. It's changing our life. It's changing who I am. It's changing me as a person. It's making me a better father. It's making me a better dad, a better co-worker. I'm much happier. I have much more fun. And I had a blood pressure reading the other day, Dan, of 106/68. I could not believe that. The picture of the blue shirt, I was 200/100. So that is incredible. So thank you for letting me share this part of my story, Dan. I'm just so excited for this program.
Wow, Guy, what an incredible transformation. I remember your son said something to me that I think really, really stood out and highlighted what we do as health coaches and this journey that you're on. I remember he texted me and said, thanks for giving me my dad back. I haven't seen him this happy in years. And, I love that. Somebody saw a picture of mine once after I lost the weight and said, it looks like you're smiling from the inside now. If you can relate to that, we all smile for pictures, but is that smile emanating from a place inside of you that's whole and that's happy and that's satisfied? And that has a lot to do with health sometimes and how much we like ourselves and like where we're at in life. So thank you, Guy. Appreciate you sharing. Now, I know everybody on this webinar is going, okay, what is this program? All right, what's going on? I love the stories. Okay, I get it. It works. It's worked for these people. You said it'll work for me. So, okay, we have one last story, an absolutely incredible story. And then real quick, I'm going to run through how the program works. It's absolutely very simple, easy to follow. The truth is that a lot of programs out there work. But the question is, can you stick with them and can you follow it, or are they too difficult, or do you feel too down in the dumps and you got to have all this discipline? And I think that's what makes this program different is it's something that once you get into it and you follow it, it's extremely simple, easy to follow. You feel great while you're losing the weight. You don't have the cravings. You just feel incredible. So I'm going to explain how that works in just a minute. But before I do, one more story tonight. Nina Poole, are you with us?
I'm here, Dan.
Well, share your story with us, Nina.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on, Dan. I'll start my story right away. I'll go back several years when my husband and I were part of a growing organization that put us in a very high-profile position. With that came some exposure and also coupled with stress. At that time in my life, I was not ready for all of that. And between touring and leading worship for a big church, writing musicals and performing, raising a child, it just piled on. And I quickly ran to food for comfort. I wish I could say to everybody that binge eating what happened once or twice or on an occasion, but it didn't. Year after year, binge eating became a habit in my life. And I started to see a lot of changes in just the way I lived. I couldn't go up a flight of stairs without feeling I wanted to pass out. I couldn't take long walks without my ankles getting swollen and having to sit down on a bench somewhere. And just all of that started taking a toll. Medically, my medical issues that came about were high blood pressure, pre-diabetic, inflammation in my joints. And it also started to bankrupt me emotionally. I started to doubt, if my husband loved me, which was ridiculous, and started to wonder if my son really thought I was a great mom because I was not involved with him. I wasn't present. I wasn't able to be because of my weight. One day I got bold and I said, okay, I'm going to get on the scale and see how much damage I've done to my body. That scale read 395 pounds and I was devastated. I think I saw it quickly, jumped off the scale, ran to my room, pulled the covers over my head, and cried myself to sleep. The next morning, I had an honest conversation with myself in the mirror, and it went like this. I said to myself, is this it for you? Is this how you want to live? Is this the rest of your life? And I think something in that conversation shifted in me. Instead of wanting to give up, I became fed up with where I was at. Luckily, at the same time, my friend Angel, she is now a health coach. She lost a lot of weight on Take Shape for Life. And I inquired. She shared the program with me. And I was so ready. Between getting on the scale and having that honest conversation with myself, something shifted in me. And I said, why not? I've tried everything else. I need something to happen. I don't want to live my life like this anymore. And I got on the program. And as of today, I have lost 145 pounds. That's 145. So just to make sure everybody understands that number. To say that Take Shape for Life has changed my life is an understatement. It's not only taken the weight off, it has returned me to the original script that was written for my life. And that's full of joy, excitement, adventure, and being the best version of myself to this world. And so that has really motivated me to help others. My brother, I love Guy's story because my brother is 428 pounds and he just lost 20 pounds. And, my sister-in-law, 15 pounds, my cousin Tino, 20 pounds. So my one decision, like Dan said earlier, is not just changing me, it's changing my culture. And I'm super excited about that. So that's my story, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Wow, thank you, Nina. I love that ripple effect when someone makes a decision to get healthy. It's so true. Every decision we make affects other people, not just ourselves. And health is such an important decision. Incredible, Nina. Congratulations. And I just want to tell everybody that's on this webinar tonight that these are not just a couple of exceptional stories that we handpicked. If you look in the chat window, you can see a bunch of people on here that are chatting about how they've done the program and how well they've done. Now, don't everybody go to the chat window and not listen right now, but this is the same story we hear from client after client after client. So I want to ask you this question. What about you? You've heard these great stories. Whatever place you're at right now, let me ask you, is that where you want to be? Like Nina said, is that what you want the rest of your life to be? And I want to challenge you to do something, to forget about past resolutions, past diets, past things you've tried. Get rid of the fear of failure. And if there was a program that you knew worked for you, would you do it? Would you make that healthy change to make a difference in your life? Because you know what? The time that you're on the program, whether it takes a month or whether it takes 6 months or a year, depending on how much weight you have to lose or where you're at health-wise, that time is going to pass anyway. And that time that's after that time, the rest of your life is going to be there regardless. What is that going to look like for you? So what about you? Where are you at right now? If you could wake up tomorrow and change anything about your health, what would you change? Would you lose some weight? Would you eat healthier? Would you feel better? More energy, more confidence? What would you change? And I want to challenge you. I want to ask you, where do you want to be? Ideally, where do you want to be in your life? And I want to challenge you not to give up on those dreams. I tried different things for about 15 years, and the scary thing is I almost made the decision not to do this program. I like Guy, got fed up and called a friend of mine that I've known for about 20 years. I trusted him implicitly. And I said, and he had lost 100 pounds, kept it off for close to 5 years. I had seen him post a couple things on Facebook, and I had seen his transformation. And I said, Eric, what did you do? Please tell me. I got to do something. And I remember he told me about the program, and I thought, I've tried a bunch of things in the past. Do I want to attack something else and just fail? Because I was tired of failing. And I look back on that, one of the greatest decisions of my life. And I think I'm so glad while I was sitting on that fence that I decided to jump over and make that decision, because it made all the difference. So don't give up on your dreams. Whether it's this program or something else, discover something that works for you. Go for health. It's absolutely worth it. So presenting Take Shape for Life. For the last 5 minutes of the webinar, I'm going to explain real quick exactly how the program works. Take Shape for Life, our mission is transforming lives one person at a time. We focus on physical health, mental health, and financial health through our coaching program. And we do have a health program that includes weight loss. I wanted to point that out because this is not a diet. It's actually very different than a diet. Just one of the components of our program is the weight loss phase. You can see there, number 2, reaching a healthy weight. And the problem with some other programs is that's all they focus on, and it doesn't affect the rest of your life. It doesn't affect your mind, your habits. There's no preparation, there's no coaching, there's no accountability. And that's what makes Take Shape for Life a little bit different, and why I think it worked for me personally. So the goal is optimal health. It's not about fat and skinny. It's not about what you look like in the mirror. The question is, are you healthy? And you can answer that question. If you're healthy. You don't have to go to a doctor or even stand on a scale to know if you're healthy, if you're living life to the fullest. You're living life the way it was meant to be lived for you. Like Nina said, to live out that script that was written for your life. So the goal is optimal health. And if you look at it like a 3-legged stool, okay, if you remove any one of these legs, that stool is going to fall over, or it's going to be really unbalanced and hard to sit on. This program consists of 3 legs, and each one of those legs is equally important to your success. The first one you see on the left there is getting a healthy mind. And this is where a lot of programs fall short, and why such a high percentage of people, even if they're able to stick to a program long enough to lose their weight or a portion of their weight, they end up putting it back on, and many times plus more additional weight. And I did that many, many times in my life before discovering Take Shape for Life. So the idea is you've got to get your mind healthy as well. You've got to rewire your brain when it comes to relationship with food, the way you think about health. And part of this program is Dr. Wayne Anderson's Habits of Health system. At 50 years old, Dr. Anderson, we call him Dr. A, and he wrote New York Times bestseller, Dr. A's Habits of Health and Living an Optimal Health Life. And what he did is he had an epiphany. He was one of the country's first board-certified critical care physicians, and he realized that he was trying to save lives at the last moment, and that so many people were in those intensive care units and critical care units because of health-related issues or weight-related issues. And he said, what if I could build a fence at the top of the cliff to prevent people from getting to this point instead of manning this ambulance at the bottom of the cliff? And he dedicated his life to the mission of helping get America and the world healthy. He created the Habits of Health system that's part of our program. So while you're getting healthy in your physical body, you're also getting healthy in your mind, and that's going to help you maintain that weight loss and that health, and help you ultimately live a longer, healthier life. The second leg in the program is the coaching and accountability. Everyone who does our program gets a free health coach. As long as you're doing the program, you've got a coach that cares about you, that is committed to you reaching your goal, that is going to help you get there, that's going to encourage you, that's going to provide accountability for you and help you make it. A lot of times people fail at diets or other health programs because they're trying to do it on their own, or they're doing it with somebody that's not as committed as they need to be. And you're going to have a coach on this program. The third part of the program is the nutrition and eating plan. And this is what you would call, I guess, the diet portion. This is how you're going to lose the weight. And let me explain that part of it real quick. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to eat 6 times per day. It's very simple. 5 of those times, you're going to eat a meal that you get from Take Shape for Life. And what that is, there's about 85 different meals to choose from. You can see there's eggs, there's pudding, there's s'mores bar there. That's one of my favorites. There's chocolate chip, soft bake. There's bar shakes. There's all kinds of different things. We start everybody with the Optimal Favorites kit, and that gives you a ton of variety your first month. So you're not getting bored with just drinking shakes, all day, every day. You get a lot of variety. The food tastes great, and it's very simple. You just grab it and go, and you do that 5 times per day, about every 2.5 hours, and then you're going to eat 1 lean and green meal per day. And like the name suggests, it's basically a serving of lean protein and 3 servings of your green, lower starch vegetables. A couple of optional healthy fat servings. There's some optional snacks. Optional condiments. It's a good sized meal, and so you get a real meal every day that's going to help aid you in your weight loss. So you're going to eat every 2 to 3 hours. It's a clinically proven program, and what it does is it gets you into what we call fat burn. And what that means is this, is the fat that we have on our body that most of us don't like, it's actually an incredible source of energy. All it is stored calories. And if you can convince your body to start utilizing those fat stores for its primary source of energy, then they start to burn up and you basically are going to lose fat. So that's what this program does. If you follow it exactly, then your body will go into fat burn after about 3 or 4 days, and your body starts utilizing your fat stores as its primary source of energy. Now, as a result, it's actually a great source of energy, your fat stores are, and you're going to feel great. You're actually going to feel incredible, and because your body has a source of sustenance and energy, your fat stores, you're not going to be hungry in between meals, besides the fact that you're eating 6 times a day. So it's not a calorie deficit equation like a lot of diets where you burn up the calories that you eat, or you exercise to get more calories off, and then your body slowly starts tapping into your fat stores. Your body is actually using those fat stores for its primary source of energy. So you're going to lose, as a result, 2 to 5 pounds a week for your first 2 weeks, and 1 to 2 pounds a week after. And because you're going to be losing that weight, you're going to stay motivated, stay excited. You're going to see the scale moving. You're going to see the inches come off. It's really that simple. So here's the 3 different parts of the stool. You got Dr. A's Habits of Health. You've got a health coach. That's actually me with my health coach. I still had about 40 or 50 pounds to go. I owe my life to this guy. He actually just helped me tremendously. And then you've got the nutrition plan. So here it is laid out for you. You can see kind of a sample meal plan. And then the other thing is you're going to drink plenty of water, at least 64 ounces a day. And that's actually going to help wash out those used fat stores and detox your body and just help you feel incredible and great. So if you can eat 6 times a day, if you can drink water, then you can do this program. So what exactly do I get as we close out the webinar? You're going to get, every single month, you're going to get 4 weeks of food. You're going to get a personal health coach. You're going to get all your program materials, Dr. A's Habits of Health, Quick Start Guide, everything you need, food journal, everything you need to do the program, all kinds of recipes and ideas. You can make your lean and green as simple as you want, or you can get as fancy with it as you want, with casseroles and all kinds of different things. There are group calls and support available. There's video chat like this and support available. There's a private Facebook page that you're able to be a part of for some community coaching and encouragement, and our clients absolutely love that page, and nobody else knows you're on it, only the people that are actually on the same program. And so you're probably wondering, what's the cost? Well, it's actually only $12 a day, or it comes out to about $365 a month, and that's for 30 days of food and all of your program materials. Now for me, I used to spend about $14 by lunchtime, and trust me, the food and the Starbucks that I was buying was not helping me reach my health goals. So this, at $12 a day, everything's paid for, 90% of your food. You only have to provide your lean and green. You get 5 great, healthy, grab-and-go meals. You don't even need a multivitamin or any supplements, no pills. All the nutrients that you need are in those 6 meals that you're going to be eating per day. So ask yourself this question: can I eat every 2.5 to 3 hours? Can I drink lots of water? Do I want the support of somebody who's gone through this before? And ultimately, do I want to be healthy? Like I asked earlier, where do you want to be? That's the ultimate question. And if you can answer yes to those questions, then you're ready to get started. So one more thing real quick as we close up. You're going to be losing weight. And anytime anybody loses weight, people say two things. First of all, they tell you look great, or they ask you if you're sick, right? I heard that a lot. I had people that didn't even recognize me once I started to hit that 50 and 60 pound mark. And people, the other thing that people ask is they say, what are you doing? How did you lose that weight? Because everybody is looking for a solution in this area. So you have a couple choices. You can refer people to your health coach, or you can choose to pay it forward like some of our panelists today have. And a lot of people end up paying it forward and becoming a health coach. And nobody's ever going to twist your arm to do that. If it's anything you ever want to look into, all you got to do is ask your health coach, hey, tell me a little bit more about how the coaching thing works. Now, if you're like me, you say, oh, I can't see myself as a health coach. I mean, I was 80 pounds overweight. Nobody would ever think of me as a health coach. And actually, I became a health coach only 3 weeks into my journey, and I still had about 55 or 60 pounds to go. One of the best decisions of my life. It changed my life tremendously, and I just love, love, love helping other people. So where do you go from here? That's the ultimate question. Here's how you get started. You're actually going to contact the person. If you have any questions or how to get started, reach out to the person who invited you or sent you this video and let them know that you're interested in getting started or you have some questions, and you'll actually just place your order through them. They'll get you all set up. It takes about a week for everything to get to you. It all comes at once for the entire month. And so you could be starting on your journey in about 1 week from now if you make that decision. So thank you all for being on tonight. Let me leave you with one quote. It's time to start living the life you've imagined. Stop just dreaming about it. Go for it. You can make a change. You can be different. You can live a different life. So thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. It's been great to spend a few minutes with you, and I just want to encourage you in your health, and I'm excited that I'm going to get to hear some updates from many of you about your journey and how you are achieving optimal health. Thank you. Have an incredible night.